With these four things, you have a 99% chance to get into the job market. I don't care if you are a university student or professional person or whatever. If you want to go get a job in cybersecurity, there are four specific elements that you must have, and I can guarantee that you get the job. Number one is perhaps the most cliche and the most sought after. It is education. Now, whether you are doing a master's or a degree or even a diploma, honestly, it doesn't matter as long as you get higher education. Now, the reason is because a lot of the companies, especially the big companies, let's say the big four, the big banks, they look at least at the minimum qualification of a diploma or a bachelor's degree. Now, if you want to get into cybersecurity, you need to get a bachelor's or at least a diploma in either computer science, cybersecurity, AI, data science, or information technology, or other, let's call it topics in those fields. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing that you must have is professional certificate. You have to understand that per year you have literally thousands of applications for specific job roles. Especially as a student, if you are applying for internship, the amount of people applying for internship is thousands, and I'm not even kidding, right? And so you need something that stands out across the other students, because every single student has a diploma, has a bachelor's, has a master, right? And if they're all applying for an internship, what makes you different to them? Now, in cybersecurity, there are so many different types of professional certifications, but in my opinion, the most important ones are the foundational certificates. Foundational certificates. Now, the foundational certificates include, but are not limited to, CompTIA Security Plus. Let me just write that down. ISC2CC and Google Fundamentals of Cybersecurity. Fundamentals. I'll just put a fundamental. Sorry for my writing. Now, these three are, in my opinion, so from the reputation wise, they are so high up as a standard. There are other certifications out there that are very good, such as Fortinet, or perhaps other product vendor agnostic certificates. Like I think Microsoft also has a foundational certificates for cybersecurity. But CompTIA Security Plus, IC2CC, and Google Fundamentals of Cybersecurity, that I have seen among a lot of young professionals, especially getting entry roles in cybersecurity. The third one is club and societies. Now, if you are at a university, you know that there are so many clubs and societies out there that you literally can join. And funny enough, employers actually ask regarding your clubs and societies. And they do that because there's one thing that they're after, ironically, and that is experience. Now, if you're a student, obviously, you do not have a lot of experience because you didn't work and employ with other employees before, right? You were literally studying. And so the only way that you can count up or accumulate the so-called experience is that you attend clubs and societies, because clubs and societies are where the employers judge you for your personality, for your leadership, as well as your character, right? And funny enough, when I initially applied for Big Four, they actually had personality and IQ tests assessing your character, assessing your personality. And so clubs and societies is something that, especially during interviews, recruiters will ask you. So make sure to join clubs and societies. Now, it doesn't have to directly be a cybersecurity club. For example, I join blockchain clubs, I join decentralized finance clubs. So there are many other different clubs and societies you can join out there that doesn't have to be directly related to cybersecurity, but has to carry some value, especially when you apply for jobs in cybersecurity. The fourth one is a bonus, right? And the fourth one is, in my opinion, such a underrated area. And I've literally seen employers hire people directly from the fourth element. And the fourth element is CTFs, or in other words, competitions. Now, what is CTF? Now, CTF is essentially capture the flag. Now, if you're interested in offensive security, such as penetration testing, vulnerability assessments, or just red teaming in general, Then CTF is something that you've probably heard about before, and it's essentially specific like gamified activities where you literally test your skill as an offensive security, as an example, and then you basically need to capture so-called flags that are essentially bounties, or how do I call it, specific tokens that you can only find when you, for example, I don't know, hack a black box, right? And so there are so many different types of competition. For example, for me, I actually participated in an open source investigation competition, or in other words, OSINT. There are other competition like AWS Hack the Cloud, and then there is certain SOC related activities. There's so many different types of CTFs and competitions out there, and I definitely recommend you to participate, because they're actually recruiters that are at the competition site itself, and very often the people that host the competitions are actually the companies themselves. So what is a not better good way than actually, like literally interacting with them and showing your skills at the same time. Now with these 4 things, there is no joke a 99.99% chance of you getting a job. Is not possible otherwise. Like if you have all of these 4, it's impossible for you not to get a job. Okay, so if you're interested in cybersecurity and you want to get a job, get these 4 things. It will guarantee land you a job. If you guys like this video, do subscribe, like, or even comment. I answer every single question as best as I can, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video.